some more picks than usually because I just want to make with one type of coloring, the yellow one, which just shows flow, any flow. The blue and reddish color show directional flow, sometimes to distinguish between artery and venous flow. But if you are looking for very
would you say that the tumours appear to be vascularized?
This is what I just want to find out. What I could see is I need another projection where we can see it better. There is not a vein, a vascular structure heading towards it, but I can't see whether it enters really.
Look, I'll tell you the reason it's interesting. Some colorectal tumours are poorly vascularized internally.
Internally. Okay.
And they're the ones that are generally refractory to treatment.
Look, what I can see here, you see it in the two color modes. I have one vascular structure heading towards this metastasis, but I can't see that it is vascularized inside. So this seems to be stopping outside the tumor. I think it's going beside. Yes, it's this one. In this direction I can see it better. Here. It's not going, it's not stopping, it's being curved a little bit to the side.
Yep.
So this formation, I think, does not have to do anything with the perfusion of the metastasis. It's just one of the big veins of the liver being moved aside a little bit. So now we do, of course, which is good, we don't have to do any special breathing technique. It just works like this. Do one measurement of the flow, normal direction of flow in the liver. Okay, now I'll do when the time starts to count. First measurements here on the central part, because there it enters. We see most of the metastasis. Then I will move to the side, to the original one, to see how it behaves. And then I do move to the somehow empty parts of the liver to see if something occurs there.
Beautiful.
Okay. So
It's quite fascinating, isn't it, really?
Of course it is. On the one hand, it's always like science. If you are scientific and you are a scientist, you could also view anything from the scientific angle. But if you are a patient and you are treated, you are also interested in science, of course, but much more you are interested in your personal fate. And
not really. Look, Adam, if I'll die, I'm very happy. I go up to heaven. My friend, look, eternity is a long time. Have you ever thought how long eternity is? Eternity?
Yes.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
You know, from the beginning of the universe, it's like, 5 or 6 billion years.
Yeah.
Eternity, guess what? It goes on a bit longer.
Yes, a bit longer, that's right. So, now, I'm not sure how to do it. I think I do it like this. Can you keep the arm like this?
I promise.
So, first it seems to work. We will not come closer to it. So,
It's still recording, that's fantastic. What's nice is I can listen to your observation.
yes, of course.
That's what's really, really useful. But don't turn around, because then you'll become famous. Because I'd like to put this on my YouTube channel if it's okay with you.
I don't mind. Really, I don't mind.
No,
You
I
can
know,
do it.
but I don't want anyone to see how beautiful you are, because then they'll get jealous.
Yeah, so everybody will come over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm the star of my channel.
So now I have to darken it
Of course.
because it's important for
I
us
know, I
to
remember.
see more. So I'm ready. I put the gel there so I can grab it and start. I already started like this. Yep, here we go.
So, the world's best immunotherapeutic ultrasonographer is injecting the contrast carbon dioxide bubbles right now into my vein. And it's very time sensitive. Within the next minute, he will have a good look around the liver. So there's no radiations, it's just sound waves. And my beautiful friend is operating like a professional. And I'll be quiet, and he will talk from here on, describing his observations.
You can see now directly metastasis being dark. You can see the perfusion of the liver,
Yeah,
very intense, very quickly entering the liver.
the bubbles.
Yeah, the white color is a contrast, like ink, white ink.
Yep,
The black lesions are like inverted of the former bright lesions. I'm just now checking for any occurrence in the arrangement of the perfusion. I can't tell, of course, if it has to do something with your treatment, but to my impression, the perfusion entered very, very quickly. Yes, of course, what I do here is very time sensitive.
it's really white. I can see the brightness. Does that mean the liver's generally taken up most of the contrast agent?
Yes, of course it means the perfusion
Is
of
working.
the liver
Is working.
is extremely high. For example, here is a small metastasis I think I could not see before, which now occurs like black because all the others were bigger, like 3 or 4 centimeters.
Yep.
This one was a 2 centimeter and it occurred now here under the contrast agent.
Beautiful.
The original one still here. Now I want to check for the officially normal part. You can see all the perfusion, like branches of a tree.
Yep.
In fact, your liver is kind of photogenic. We can see good pictures. I have patients where I can't see anything really good,
Yep.
just the big streets, but we can also see all the small ones here like this.
Wow, yeah.
Now I move back to the central part. Sometimes you can see metastases you could not see before because they now show off. Which is quite, I can't say if it's important, but it's
It's an
something-
everything's important. It's all an
it's
observation.
something, yes, it's something we could observe. Usually, metastasis of tumors first
Look at the-
absorb color.
But look at the rims. I can see the rims there.
Yes.
They show up really clear.
Yes, yes, it's sharply contrasted. Normally, a metastasis works like first it like a magnet absorbs the ink, the color, and then it washes out and it stays at the end black. But yours, from directly at the beginning, they never took up the color. I can't really say if it has to do with the treatment, if it is a good or bad sign, but
It's an observation.
yes, first it's just an observation. interpretation is much more different because sometimes
You
time will show what it really meant,
Yeah.
but
But we get the observation now, my friend, and that's why I'm so grateful to you.
what, of course, this observation could implicate is it did at no time take contrast so that it should not be perfused, that there would be no perfusion in these lesions. I cannot say for sure, but usually...
I remember last time we saw contrast in the big lesion.
Yeah.
What's the story with the big lesion now? Did it have any contrast?
No. It behaves like all the others. The lesions are all, from the beginning till now, completely black, so like taking no contrast at all. The original lesion is a little bit harder to find now as contrast slowly diminishes. No, I have to raise. It does not work. Okay.
It doesn't matter. You
We
follow
have-
your heart. You use the force. Don't dash it. Use your force. Look at whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm just screening and having a look. I can find the one with the gallways. I can find it again all the time. The one here with the white marks. All the rest stays now less contrasted because the contrast of the normal tissue goes back now. Starts to lose in contrast. Can you take a deep breath and hold it for a second? Okay, and exhale again. So we still got the perfusion.
It's quite a work of art, the liver, isn't it?
Of course.
It's
Somehow, if it wouldn't be that severe, it's beautiful.
No, it's
The human body,
It's remarkable.
yeah, of course. If we don't disturb it too much, it works better, usually. A lot of things we do in our lifetime, this is just for my remembering, but just all the time, everything is fine. Okay, now I just try to see if I could see something of the pancreatic area, but it's usually in normal ultrasound very hard to see. And then in ultrasound where we have this dark colors, no, I can't see this area. No, I just go again. This is your kidney, this lower part.
How do the kidneys look? They might be a little bit inflamed with the...
Yeah, but I can't see inflammation. Okay. So this is not really possible for me to see. So I can see it's there. I can see that it is perfused. Of course, it should be.
With the contrast?
Yeah, the contrast also moves to the kidney. But the problem with contrast ultrasound is we have a very small space of time where we have to make our picks. It's around 10 minutes altogether, but in fact the first 2 minutes are the most important, and the last minutes. In the first two, usually it gets bright, in the last it stays black. And this is what was important to notice, that in your case, directly from the beginning, all of them stayed black, did not take up any contrast. So this is what we could keep as a result.
I think that could be a good sign.
I think so too, but I can't really say I have reason to be optimistic because I can't even tell that I understand all of the treatment, of course.
Time will tell, my friend.
Yes.
But you know what, seriously...
But if it works, then
We can look back.
We look back and say, okay,
This
so
is
it
good.
would have been a sign that they did not take up contrast. Yeah. Now it's finishing. Now I do one trick. Kill the contrast. And then sometimes, like wiping a board, you can have some more difference again. Well, it worked. I can see some more. It's like called like a booster for the poor people.
Yeah.
Because in fact, the most expensive part of it, aside from the time, is the contrast agent being about 100 euro per bottle. So it's a good trick, it worked. We can have again a measurement. You can see still perfusion. Raise the power of the machine again. Try to take the last glances of the contrast. That's one thing I want to check before we are finished. Yeah. What occurs now, which is also quite interesting, can't say what it means on the therapeutic or the immunological basis, to the end of our ultrasound, it gets a bit brighter.
Yeah.
This is not the normal habit of metastasis, as they lose contrast.
So why would I be retaining contrast? Does it mean it's vascularized?
In fact, in liver ultrasound with contrast, if you have a lesion and you cannot tell whether it's good or bad, keeping contrast at the end is seen as a good sign, meaning like not from cancer. In this case, it can't be, of course. So we know it is from tumor, but I cannot tell what it means for interpretation.
Understood, yeah.
But here, it seems to take some small part of color at the end, in the very, very late phase, and usually metastases behave like not showing any color anymore.
So now I'm showing color at the end.
Yeah, and if we would not know that it is from metastasis, we would say it looks like a benign lesion. It can't be, of course. So this is interesting to keep in mind if it has to do something with the perfusion or the barrier which is supposed to build, or if it shows that there are late vascularizations. But for me, from my interpretation, as a kind of final observation, I would say first to remember is all the lesions did not take any contrast.
And then at the last moment.
At the end, at the very late end, especially the primary lesion, does take contrast. Definitely it does. I do one last glance whether the other lesions also take contrast or not. This may be interesting too.
Yes.
seem to behave in a similar way. Not that much, but also showing as a little bit brighter lesions. Could you just inhale? Hold it a moment. Okay, and exhale again. Still perfusion all the way. You could also see the bubbles move.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay, so we are finished now.
Thank you, my friend. Did
So-
you want to have a look down here where the pain is? Can you see anything?
I can try, of course. Wait, I have to wipe it. Then I have to. Switch here. Which area is pain? Left side.
What's down there?
The final part of the intestines, where our stool is prepared for leaving the body, of course. Here we can see, this is colon.
Yeah.
The white and black marks is a normal filling of it. Just showing there is movement. So, I have to go for this. One, it shows that in this part your intestines do work,
Good.
which is also good because sometimes you get obstipation in severe mode. But I'm now trying to watch for, here we can see something. I have tried to make a video loop. This is something we have to keep in mind. You can see it going left and right again. Peristaltic we call the normal movement of intestines, but if you call it pendule, means like pendular, moving from one to the next, could also show that it's not going forward on some later parts.
Like there might be a blockage.
For example, of course I must say I never saw it. I just in my courses, my lessons, I heard if someone has an operation, for example, and he got this pendular peristaltic, it could mean that there is some kind of blockage.
But you've seen something new today with me, because that's where the pain is.
So I just check here.
I think
Here, for example, in this upper part, we see normal structure. Here, this must be the region which hurts.
Yep,
Exactly here.
yep, exactly. God bless you, my friend.
So we can see something. Of course,
The pendulum.
yes.
And guess what?
And
I'm gonna fast for the next fucking week. I'm
This
not
is,
going to eat.
yeah, but
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, that's it. You found it.
In fact, as I must tell you, or I just told you, I never saw it. I just know it should look like this. So I can't present a diagnosis for you.
It's
But
okay, I can tell you.
If you would be
I know
operated
about-
freshly, we would say there could be a blockage. I always find it again. So here lies the problem. I cannot see the problem by itself, but the result of it, the pendular peristaltic, perfectly to be seen, moving one way and the other. So it's not going forth and back, you see? Like in a washing machine.
Yeah.
This is the phenomena we were told in our lessons, like if you are reminded of something in a washing machine, it's something like this. So it could mean, did you have any stool or something in the last days or not?
Yeah.
You did have. You should even, you could think whether you like to eat or not, but
I'm not going to eat. I know. I let it settle.
But what you have to do from the lower part, you should take some like klizma or something
Yep.
to open a blockade if it's from hard stool. because this will not help if you don't eat from the upper part, if you have to loosen the blockade.
Yeah. Can you write it and I'll go to the chemist now?
Yeah, yeah. I would take those, I don't know the English word, the Zäpfchen, because you push them inside.
Yeah, yeah.
Like usually you take 6 or 10 in a package, you take one on a time, and up to 3 times a day. And I would definitely take one today. Now, if you go to bed very late, you take one even before going to bed. Otherwise, you take it tomorrow morning. Up to the moment that it will open and you can make stool. Because in any kind of patient, not your case, any case, if you cannot go on the toilet properly and you have signs like this, it could mean that there is a blockade, and then after a few time, days or even hours, you will become an emergency for a surgeon if it's not working properly again. Anybody will have problems if it's not working. So you have to...
Should I go to the hospital?
Not now if it's getting better. So it means if you can open the blockade and you will have stool, which does not have to do any in common with eating or not eating. You must produce stool. There is stool. If it's not leaving till tomorrow, and pain is raising, you have to go to the hospital, yes.
Okay.
In this case, okay?
Thank you. This is really, really useful.
So now I have to rearrange everything. Just give me a second.
Okay, I have 5 seconds. But isn't it good you see that? That's the most amazing.
In fact, there was even something I could learn, because I have not seen this before in a patient, just learning it theoretically. So now, just wipe here. When was the last time you did have stool?
Yeah,
Or a few days before?
a few days before.
Because obstipation, as you said before, is one of the side effects of treatment. And any kind of obstipation, from internal, like no movement, or from outside, like constriction or something, could finally result in a blockade, fully blockade. And any full blockade leads to the surgeon, because of any reason. So we need to open the blockade now. Okay, so this is finished. Then I'll...
You can stop it. I will stop it. The best man in the world.